You know, when we look at the absolute titans of our era, these massive planetary scale companies, it's so easy to just see the shiny finished products, right? The rockets, the sleek electric cars. But we totally gloss over the sheer determination and, frankly, the grueling hardships it actually takes to build those global empires. Steve Jobs hit the nail on the head when he said, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And to really get inside the mind of a true visionary, we have to look at that work they love, especially when the odds are just completely stacked against them.
So, welcome to today's explainer. I am super pumped you're here because today we are breaking down the massive scale, the scope, and the reality of one of the modern era's most ambitious figures. We're going to dive deep into the foundational story, the staggering achievements, and the very real struggles of entrepreneur, inventor, and business magnate Elon Musk. Let's get into it. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First up, the catalyst. Second, electrifying Earth. Third, conquering space. Fourth, pushing physical limits. And finally, number 5, the reality of vision. All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the catalyst, building the foundation. Okay, so think about it. Before you can even consider launching rockets to Mars or flipping the entire automotive industry on its head, you need capital. A lot of it. So how did a young student born in South Africa scrape together the immense funding needed to back these wild dreams? Well, he basically sprinted up the dot-com ladder. I mean, he drops out of a Stanford physics program after literally 2 days and co-founds Zip2 in 1995. Boom. By 1999, Compaq acquires it and he nets $22 million. But he doesn't stop there. He instantly pivots, founds X.com, which turns into the online payment giant we all know as PayPal. And then, just 3 years later in 2002, eBay buys PayPal for a whopping $1.5 billion. Out of that massive eBay deal, Musk's personal payout was $165 million. Now let's be real for a second. For almost anyone else, $165 million is the finish line, right? You buy a private island, you retire, you're done. But Musk? No way. He took all of that foundational wealth and poured it directly into far riskier, literal planetary scale visions that most people at the time thought were just flat out impossible. Which brings us to section 2, electrifying Earth, revolutionizing energy. So, with all that capital in hand, he immediately deploys it toward a critical problem right here on Earth. And I want you to ask yourself this. How do we actually, in a practical sense, reduce our global reliance on fossil fuels? This wasn't just some abstract philosophical debate for him. This was the exact, real-world environmental and engineering challenge that his earthly companies were built from the ground up to solve. And this right here perfectly illustrates his whole problem-solution framework. Back in 2003, he founds Tesla. The goal was crystal clear: produce affordable electric cars and completely revolutionize the traditional automotive industry. But, electric cars still need clean power to charge them, right? Otherwise, what's the point? So in 2006, he helps found Solar City. And when Tesla officially acquired Solar City a decade later in 2016, it unified that whole ecosystem. The two pieces now work seamlessly together to expand clean energy offerings and tackle that fossil fuel reliance head-on. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. Let's look up for section 3, conquering space, reaching for the stars. Okay, so while he's literally trying to electrify the ground beneath our feet, he's simultaneously looking up at the sky toward an even wilder, seemingly impossible goal: the human colonization of Mars. But right away, we run into a massive brick wall. How do we drastically reduce space transportation costs? Because let's face it, you simply cannot colonize another planet if every single rocket launch bankrupts a small country. Enter SpaceX, founded back in 2002, and they went on to achieve some truly mind-blowing historic firsts. We're talking about becoming the very first privately funded company to launch a liquid-fueled rocket all the way to orbit. Oh, and the first private company to send a commercial spacecraft to the International Space Station. So why should you care about this? Because it absolutely proves his vision isn't just some sci-fi fantasy. It's backed by unprecedented hard data and aerospace milestones that have literally reshaped an entire legacy industry. Moving right along to section 4, pushing physical limits, human boundaries. So beyond energy and outer space, Musk starts tackling the actual physical boundaries of human transport and, believe it or not, human biology. Just wrap your head around this staggering speed for a second: 700 miles per hour. That number quantifies the sheer audacious scale of his 2013 Hyperloop proposal. The idea was this high-speed transportation system using vacuum-sealed tubes to completely revolutionize how we travel from city to city. Now, while it's still in the development phase, just having the ambition to try and move human beings safely across land at that kind of speed, it really shows his absolute obsession with shattering physical limitations.
And then we get to the biological limits. Founded in 2016, Neuralink is out there developing brain-computer interfaces. The endgame here? To literally enable humans to communicate directly with machines and eventually each other. Even though it's still in its early stages, Neuralink has the potential to totally transform neuroscience, revolutionize major medical treatments, and basically forever alter our relationship with artificial intelligence. It's wild stuff. And finally, Section 5, the reality of vision, the price of innovation. Now, we've talked a lot about the billions of dollars and the massive rockets, but true visionaries don't exactly get a smooth, easy ride to success. Behind the scenes, the struggle was intense. Early on, Musk was relying heavily on his own personal savings and borrowing from friends just to keep his businesses from going under. Personally, he navigated a tough childhood, and in 2018, he actually publicly revealed he was diagnosed with ADHD, noting he took Adderall to help him focus. His physical health even took a major hit in 2019 when a tunnel boring machine accident required emergency brain surgery. And on the legal front, immense pressure, for sure, including a massive SEC lawsuit over tweets about taking Tesla private. So when we look at the whole picture, the physical, financial, and legal toll of all this ambition is undeniably severe. And this incredibly complex reality extends right into his highly controversial acquisition of Twitter in October 2022, which of course he later renamed X. Public opinion here is starkly divided. On one side of the coin, he's been praised for his efforts to make the platform more open and transparent. But on the flip side, he's faced intense criticism for his overall handling of the company, implementing massive workforce layoffs and his own controversial tweets. No matter where you stand on it, his involvement has absolutely sparked this massive, ongoing global debate about the role of social media in our society and the immense responsibilities that land on the shoulders of the people who own these platforms. So bringing it all together, what truly differentiates Elon Musk from every other global entrepreneur out there? Is it the guts to make a $165 million gamble? Is it that crazy resilience in the face of near bankruptcy, federal lawsuits, and literal brain surgery? Or is it simply this completely unique, insatiable appetite for risk that constantly pushes the boundaries of what humanity even considers possible? I'll leave that for you to reflect on as you apply these lessons to your own learning journey. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and hey, keep your curiosity focused.